Hello. Video more than for whole life. Oh.
Pode daí. Ah, vas comigo.
Polisa na gudu. Polisa na gudu. Polisa na gudu. Shegu. Polisa na gudu. Polisa na gudu. Polisa na gudu. Polisa na gudu. Shegu. Shegu. Polisa na gudu. Polisa na gudu. Polisa na gudu. Polisa na gudu. Shegu. Shegu. Aka komi ranar shi da Allah. Zuwa. Suka gare ka ba su komi ko?
Pode daí. Ah, vas comigo.
Bascomico.
Kodi daí.
Ei.
Bascomico. Kodi daí. Bascomico. Kodi daí. Bascomico.
Those are some of the scenes which happened yesterday. The incidents that happened yesterday. Those are some of the things that actually happened. In fact, the part where everybody is worried about is the image of the soldier that's squatting, basically targeting the crowd while shooting into them. The soldier who was kneeling on one knee, who kneeled on one knee and was taking shots at the demonstrators, is something that everybody is talking about. It's part of the write-up I read to you from Professor Jampo, who raised those questions about yesterday's incident. If you're just joining us once again, we apologize for the break in transmission. The power went out here, and so we had to make some immediate take some immediate backup measures. That's how come it took us a while for us to return when the power went out. But thank you for sticking and staying with us. We are live. You're still live on Radio Gold 90.5 FM. Of course, I'll reading to you that article that was written by Professor Yao Jampo, and it's an article that's worth reading and going through at this time, because it raised some key questions about yesterday's incident, because these incidents have not happened in a vacuum. They started with the killing of a man who is identified as Ibrahim Mohammed, who is popularly known as Kaka, who was killed yesterday. The youth started protesting. In fact, what the police themselves have said was that they impeded traffic. Essentially, that's what everybody does. Is a way of protest that if traffic builds up will attract some attention. So they eventually just impeded traffic, prevented cars from moving, and then the police moved in. And those are the scenes we are seeing. Not the police, the contingent that arrived were led by soldiers. And those soldiers, immediately after getting out, you can watch from the videos, immediately after alighting from their cars, first thing they did was to start shooting at the crowd. And you could see one of them kneeling to take aim at the guys who had blocked traffic. And some of the guys, they claim that the guys started massing up when they attempted to disperse them. No. And that's one of the questions we are trying to answer. And I don't know if we can get someone who would explain to us how these things work. Because I know that usually when the police come to such a scene, they do not immediately act. What they do is that they try to identify people who they can speak to. And they take their time to go through that process of having a conversation with the youth, the leadership of the youth, to see if they are able to negotiate for the youth to leave the scene. That's what they usually do. And for people who live in the Zongos, Afriwa, you live in the Zongo yourselves. You know these things happen usually when sometimes people get angry. The Zongo get angry. Immediately, you see them massing up. When the police come in, you realize that the police walk to them, find out what their problem is, and try to resolve it. That's not what happened in this situation. In this situation, immediately you see the military men arriving. First thing they've done is to jump from their vehicles and just start firing. And taking aim at the demonstrators.
And I think, Senna, no matter which political party you belong to, action I call Soro or Edrano, and say, who defend such actions from the police or the soldiers.
Yeah.
Because me name recently, policemen are omaba and I say soldiers omaba, the kind of training one FM and sana yamoma kwabontin ako yes omoko separate crowd say because minimum say as a policeman and I say as a soldier man there oko sin bia it is say ya and say oko na yemfa the simple main night disaster across post the rumpo nye yemfa to ho and yes oko sin bia a crowd as start say omo misbehave you know now see ya now ututu dia fam no and even a two no crime minimum say bia omo tear gas there oh and omo in so share there so ho no so etimi ema crowd mutete mo bia etimi ekọ baby okọ now why say we there omudru ya see ya na say live bullet now a video back we am say soldier nipa koto say op target pa shoot obi ekono no na me wanga kakra nti incident koso pa ne there say ya nhweni ya ka say insecurity no but as a way in the agensem doso and you know say ya na money because wa ebedru ba bia sa incident bi betimi asia enkofo mo resident omo ho no emfa police fo na say soldier fo omo ho no ho nche omo o betimi no ma face so omo doso che omo pa and you be 1000 who police in na say soldier no
and you can even see one of the videos in which you're virtually chasing the car that is used to spray they were chasing one of those vehicles out of anger
and to say a policeman and I say soldier ni ewo we mu bia o face a crowd no mende
imagine what they
we instant almost meku
imagine what they do because you are a threat essentially.
Yes.
Immediately start killing them. You have become a threat to them, to their life. So imagine how they will respond to you. Because you just jump up from a car and start shooting at them. What are they supposed to do?
It's bad. Bad.
And then you issue a statement saying that they should help you with information.
Why never this information, bro?
You see,
me no me tis you know me work me committee so can say what are they trying to say? Even release no come the buy no nyama ni bi omo ka omu a na o share story na if you a driver na ase ensunsun ye wom as if say soldier for na police for no start say omu shoot bra mabu na ho na sa man for mo no start say omu ni soldier for no omu start say omu shoot soldier for na sana omu so retaliate so omu shoot but I know say omu no me civilians a omu kita enua na omu she tie so and to say your friend policeman and I say also jeni no ba and the minimum say bia oba hwehwe say kan obetimi aba intro e mabu na de na cause minji ni say police ni and I say so jeni si say oni mabu ni bi be say group bi e kasa still o ma wo protest ni say be kasa there be still because of protesting asay ni ama da bi and even in this case ran nya say no say bibia o omo ahye ne omo anse bibia womo an ekita omo nkontiba womo an omo hye say tire omo hye ana ma block bia kwan omo nshutu obia omo kimemi hu so bi kitatu a oto ho now policeman and I say soldier ni ya fro say bibi say kosonti be kame na hwe say lives betimi ya aye na so ba ya rumo e shutu dia na I don't know the kind of policemen and I say soldiers are you what recently our system
it started firing at them and you see that's the worrying aspect of what has happened. The question is now, which one should we be worried about, the killing of Kaka or the killing of Two? Even if we're talking about numbers. Yes, but even if you're talking about numbers, the police have killed Two. The people who are supposed to investigate the killing of Kaka have killed Two. The people killed one. You have come to kill Two. So who should we be investigating first?
And it's a police one is investigating.
That's the starting point. And even the circumstances in which Kaka was killed was less grievous than that of the police, Because the people who killed Kaka actually went out there and their only aim was to perhaps maybe their aim was to initially beat him up or something. You had a professional mandate and a duty to protect, yet you kill. You are the one who is killing recklessly. So who should we be investigating? Who should we be holding to?
Police ni so jeni na wafa mra kwan mu a wafa ntitie mu a unnim kwan a ye fa so e control crowd ni ade a ukoye wakoku nipa mienu no. Wona ye say investigate wo. Say say we de mo de ha me say ebi ma baba kokokwa say ntro ni akunu na we ni akunu ye hwemu ye be ye hwemu ni saa say na ye nwieda na asem no wo be say akwa enkwase asem.
Yeah.
Saa na ekosu krom ha na akwa enkwase asem. Nti se eku obi enipa mienu eku mu ye be ba say yakwa akoma ni busuani sika na eno na pata wa na za ye oden.
What would they change? What would they change?
You
don't know the value that person have brought to. No, because people were angry. So nowadays, immediately they see people on the streets, they get afraid. The default response of the security under this government to every time people mass up, just let a few people gather and see how they respond. It's like as if they can't see people just mass up. A fear or door,
yes.
A fear or door, people were gathered, making noise, taking photos with them outside the premises of a court. They have arrested them. So you can't see people gather. What is your problem? It's like as if gathering is the problem of this government. People massing up. Charlie, that's the very first thing if you go to a town and something happens, first thing they used to do is to go and bend tires on the streets. It's the default response. That can be that issue that can be, they have a way of saying it in security parlance, that can be dealt with immediately. That can be dealt with by just conversations with the youth and their leaders and everything. You can deal with that. That one too has to result in you killing people. Techiman South, you have counting going on and there's memory. We won't agree, we will not agree. No, wow. That one to shooting people. The one that happened, oh, somebody has something, somebody is doing something, let's go. No. 3 people. Gone like How are we doing this? How are we supposed to react? What is the essence of what we are doing? Is it security or what? That's worse than armed robbery.
Which means a security agencies, no problem. Because meeting aka say first no na entesa na say no de na asesa e yo ma ye recruit am foforo no e na wo mo fa antetie mu ana say ya fa kwati kwan bi so e de nkrofo akọ ye military nim ye de nkrofo bi akọ ye soldiers ho ana police for na so ye ho a ense so mo ho ana.
You see, that's the question. The question is, how come at a time when technology is there's advancement of technology, there's supposed to be development, there's supposed to be a certain form of advancement and everything, that our police and our security service, the quality of service we are provided by our security forces is declining?
Confirm.
Because it looks like increasingly people who are working do not even know their mandate. They don't know how to operate. Everything is something for the boys. Everything is now, let's shoot at them. So I don't even understand what thing we are operating here. Pretty sure we'll be speaking to Dr. Hassan Ayarga, founder and leader of All People's Congress. They have been talking about the issue of robbery attacks. Remember what happened at Adeningbo? Yes. And also, they have also been talking about 170 million judgment there. They've been commenting on some of the issues that are happening in this country. APC, yeah. So we'll be having a conversation with him on these issues.
So we exclusive interview. So no after say election, on Sheran Kasasai.
I think we had a conversation with him during the time of the disagreements over whether or not the NDC, the MPP stole these elections or not. Yes, that we had. I recall having a conversation with him vividly. Having a conversation with him on exactly what went wrong.
Viewers, no, because interview no yabefa ba bibia unse na de interview fa ba bibia nti we no dura ho nyina no obefa na sana yarga insecurity a Ghana no Also,
we'll talk about that.
Numbers
We'll talk about that. Very, very important. Yeah. Very, very important. But you had a list you were going to disclose.
Oh, now me list be. Na statistics kakra my efa euros ekoso.
You did it.
Oh, statistics in there no my 24 na yo.
So don't say don't
claim. I will say for me na my statistics no da bi. Euros na ekoso no. Un say ye bobo Wembley ni akobo bi wa Budapest ni ade. Na 24 enhwemu ahu countries ni bo ho omo guess ho fe. Say ka say oba ho fe, o so oba ho fe. Utimi ho oba na wata wonu. Yeah, utimi ho oba say what a woman asanaba.
Asanmai.
Ho oba no say wata wonu say oba ni. It is statistics na ba. Wo de awie.
Well, let's speak to a retired police officer, ASP retired Franklin Nate. So ASP alone tells you he was a senior police officer before he retired.
Oh, okay.
So they are the ones who have been giving the orders. Shoot them.
Don't shoot. Do that.
Yes. ASP.
Hello, Zena.
Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning to all our listeners.
I hope you're well.
I'm very well, my brother.
And I wanted to ask whether you've also given that order, shoot them, before.
When you are leading a group of policemen to places like this, let's say there is, in controlling a crowd, we do not resort. There are four circumstances under which a policeman should resort to the use of firearm, and this is specified in our service instructions. 1, in rearresting someone who has committed a crime and has been sentenced by a court, and maybe on the way to prisons you run away. That is when you commit a felonious crime, I mean a very high degree crime. You can resort to a firearm to maim the person, to rearrest him. Another circumstances in dispersal of a riotous mob, please, not demonstrators, a riotous mob who are attacking or about to attack life and property. Then also you can resort to the use of firearm when your life as a police officer is in immediate danger, please, not only in danger, but your life is in immediate danger, that there is nothing you can do apart from the resorting to the use of firearm where you can save yourself. And then the last one is when you are going to arrest someone who has committed a felony and the person is resisting arrest by an armed force, then you can also resort. So these 4 circumstances is what gives you the mandate to resort to the use of firearm. What was happening in Nigeria was not a riotous mob who were attacking life and property. So
two key things should have happened. The mob should have been attacking life and property. That's when you call it a riotous mob.
Yes, they must be attacking property or about to attack property. The police must have intelligence that the riotous mob is coming to attack or about to attack or is attacking. So is this one? Let's define the crowd. That crowd was not a riotous mob. They were aggrieved youth who lost a member, and then they were aggrieved. So they were not riotous mob. The police cannot define that mob as a group as a riotous mob. That's number one. They were not attacking life and property, or they were not about to do that. So the resorting to the use of firearm by those who fired is erroneous.
So everything you've seen, but also I don't know what to make of that video. The video where the soldiers just jumped out of their vehicle, and then the very first thing they started doing is to start shooting. I know that when you were there, they usually have joint task forces of military men and police officers. Under the circumstance when military men and police officers are working on dispelling a crowd of this nature, exactly how is it supposed to be handled?
Yes. Normally, we do have a leader, either from the military or the police, depending on the senior who is in charge. Now, in this case, as I was saying, let's say they were demonstrating and the demonstrators let's say, they've gone more than the normal demonstration. So it means that even if they are trying to destroy property or anything, our mandate is not to shoot and kill. We fire up. Normally fire at the ringleader, and the aim of firing is to name the person so that the others will run away. We don't fire into the crowd or even above the crowd. And I'm going to tell you the reason. If you fire into the crowd, you are going to kill someone who is not even a ringleader, who is just following the crowd, who is innocent person. Or you fire above, it might go and hit somebody who is far away, who is not part of the group. So you target the ringleaders of the mob, and then you at their knee. That is what is recorded in our books. And I'm telling you this, that no police officer or army is supposed to fire directly into a crowd. I listened to the doctor who was speaking. He said the ammunitions were found one at the back of one person penetrating into the chest. It means that that person was running away. Under no circumstance, someone who is retreating should be fired at. So when I was there, in fact, if it is a rubber bullet, even that one is not targeted to kill anybody. But I saw this soldier taking a knee position. That means attacking to fire. Those people are not soldiers. They are not soldiers. I cannot, because a Ghanaian soldier, well trained, will never do what I have seen in the picture. Sena, our country is at the verge of tolerating certain people in military uniform. And if the police, the Minister of Interior, the Minister of Defense think that they will accept as these things going on, one day it's going to be on them. It's going to be on them, because if the civilians are being attacked and they are not talking, they are not trying to look for these people and deal with them. We experienced it in Techiman. We experienced it in Odododiodio. We experienced it in Ablekuma. All these things, nothing has been done. Then Nana Akufo-Addo's government is actually going to fail in the next 4 years. Fail, and will be a government that nobody will remember. I'm sorry to say this.
Well, because you're talking about the rule books and also exactly what you're supposed to do. So I'm guessing this is part of the training and everything. So what is failing in this regard? Is it the command structure that is used when they arrive at these situations? And also, or is it the failure of proper, thorough training? What is it, or the quality of people they are putting in there? Where is the failure coming from?
I will say that there are several factors. One of the factors is that I didn't hear any commander among the group commanding that you should shoot. So it means that the people moving, they all have, they think they all are wielding certain powers, where they don't even have to listen to a senior man among them to command them to do what they have done. That is one. Number two, before the election, I know soldiers and policemen who went to training, and less than 3 months they came out. In fact, I mean, let's say what we call the army training or the police training, teaching of weapon alone takes more than 3 months. Teaching of weapon
handling takes 3 months.
Yes, it takes 3 months. And in the police service, we do more than 3 firings at a range within 3 months before we qualify to handle rifle. So if people are trained 3 months, in addition to everything, so now how qualified is that person? In the police service, our training is not 6 months. The police training, if they tell you 6 months, those who have gone to the police training and have gone well trained will tell you that the least is the police drivers and artisans that are trained 6 months. The rest, 9 months, 10 months, people even spend 12 months at training. But today, during the COVID situation, policemen were trained for 3 months and less than 3 months. And the same applies to the people who went into the military training. And so what do you expect from these people? Number 2, most of them are not educated. So the books that they have to learn and know how to respond, just as you called me, I was not aware you would even be calling me. But how was I able to tell you that before you resort to the use of firearm, we have circumstances, which are 4 that I have enumerated to you. And then, in the police service, as I said, we call it Service Instruction 97. That is what I read to you. So the people who cannot read and write, but are party boys that have been put into the service, how can they read this thing and understand? And put it in their brain and make use of it as they go along? This is the problem Ghana Police and Ghana Army is going to face if these people are not fished out. So it is 1, meaning the time of training, the duration for training is wrong. Then the wisdom of the people or the knowledge of the people they are taking into the service and the kind of power the people think they have wielded. These are the problems.
And I wanted to ask this question a bit earlier. For a situation like this, is it normal for the military, a vehicle that's conveying military men, to lead the charge, holding live ammunitions?
Yes, Senna, under no circumstances should the army ever come in if it is not at the invitation of the police. In situations like this, it is the police that take charge of crowd control. We read about the issues on this Act 1 Act 491, which is public order. The military don't learn the public order. It is only the military police that come to learn that from us, not all the military. So we, the police, learn about the Public Order Act. So we know how to control crowd. It is when the whole thing is above the police cannot accommodate it, that we invite the military. So it is very, very absurd to see a military car just arrive there, and I think somebody in power have called the military to do that. To do that, it is not in place at all when it comes to our way of working.
For the sake of emphasis, if you have young people who are burning tires or are impeding traffic in protest, and your job is to go there and ensure that you disperse them, what steps do the police usually take in such a situation?
Yes, we have several de-escalation methods. There are certain times you don't even need arm at all. You will have to try to talk to the leaders who are in charge that group. And I tell you, the leaders, when they realize that you are not coming towards them with arm and weapons, they will be ready to listen to you. When that fails, Then we use the rubber bullet, even the water cannon. I saw the police water cannon car passing on the video. So I was surprised that even water cannon, hot water was not used. If it got to the extent that they should use it, was not used. And live ammunitions were used to kill Ghanaians, people that our president have vowed to protect. So, as I was telling you, we need to engage the people without arm in the first instance. And that is trying to what? Find out who are the leaders. In fact, not everybody, there is this psychological distance where people get inhibited in acting when they see the police. So if the police were to approach them with a calm voice, a way of calming them down, they would have managed to do that. So it was the firing and other things that can even agitate the people, aggravate them the more. And one day, it's not going to be like this. By the time they will know, people in the uniform will also be down. And that is where we cannot go back. This is the time for us to go back and start working very well to stop these things happening. Because it is the constitutional right of Ghanaians to demonstrate. And if they are doing it and they don't have a way of stopping it, but to fire and kill people as it happened in those circumstances I've already stated, then there is a problem, Senna.
Well, but now it has happened. 2 people killed, several people injured. For a lot of us, what is important is accountability. Usually what happens in this circumstance, do you see that happening following? Because you mentioned what happened in Techiman, but what is supposed to happen under this circumstance to assure us that there will be some accountability from those who engage in this? Because this creates a certain sense of fear and tension.
Yes, Senna, and with the police, it's easy to identify people when they do wrong. And you can see it when policemen use police vehicles and other things to go and rob. It doesn't take time to fish them out. But with the army, it's very difficult for you to go to the military barracks for them to release their people who do these kind of things. But as I was telling you, there is some power behind those people who are doing this. It might not be effective trained military men. And so, since nothing has been done in those ones we have talked about, this one, what are we expecting? I don't think anything will happen to anybody. Anything will happen to these people who have done this. If anything will happen, then the military head must come. The military head at Jura, who has allowed his men, he will be able to fish out the men who have gone there, just as it happened in Floyd's case. Floyd's case, they were not, those who investigated the matter, they were not there. They just looked at the CCTV and the camera, that the picture that people took, the video, and the investigation was done. And the right person who kneeled on George Floyd was fished out. So this clear video could let the person out. So if the military says that they are for Ghanaians, and then there is no political influence, they should come out and fish out these people for them to be dealt with. If it were to be the police, I assure you, the police will quickly bring the... You see, one thing about the police is, police don't hide their criminals. They don't. Until now, I know. Police officers, if you don't know you misbehave, they will fish you out. They themselves will fish you out. But the military is difficult.
Well, let me end by asking the question that we are all thinking about, whether this will affect investigations into the murder of Kaka, and which one we should prioritize first. Should we prioritize holding the officers who went there accountable, perhaps to create some confidence, because people have to provide them information before they'll be able to apprehend those who are behind what happened to Kaka? So which one should come first? Accountability from those who engage in the killing, or investigations to be prioritized? Where do we start from?
All can be done at the same time. And, you know, Kaka, we know that he was given a warning letter by the police commander there. And the warning letter was written on a municipal assembly letterhead. So the investigation is very simple. That from the warning, what has he done that he has been warned? And from which authority? Has the police any power to warn anybody who have not committed any criminal offense? We have power where sometimes we give warning letter to drivers and other people, but the police has no judicial function. And for that matter, we can only prosecute. We can never, ever warn anybody for any political reason. So the police commander there should come and explain why he used municipal assembly letterhead. The investigation should start from there. And then concerning these people, the video is clear. I don't want to remind people of what happened in Obuasi, that town where Major Mahama was killed. It was the video that helped policemen to arrest all those people. So this video, it should be done side by side. One problem we have in Ghana is that when investigation is delayed, the farther the criminals go. If you compare it to the UK, if you have done something and for 2 years you have not been caught, the police are at your heels. But in Ghana, it's the other way around. The longer investigation keeps, the farther the criminals are away from arrest. And so these two things should be done side by side. The investigation can be done on Kaka's death, and then at the same time, the apprehension of these people in the video to come and tell who shot the two guys. That one will also be done side by side.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning. It's been quite educative.
Thanks, Senna. I'm very grateful. We have started our semester and I'm wild a bit, but I know it's going to be okay. Yes.
Well, people say I usually leave people say I usually leave the last question for the last, but my attention just came to some. Is there any progress on the issue of the payment of your pensions?
Yes. Now we are in court. We have actually got a very good lawyer, and then we have served the people with our writ recently, and then we know they will not answer. So in 8 days we will hear the outcome. Because we are in court now, I want to be mute on it. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted an update, and thank you for giving me that update.
Yes.
ASP retired.
Thank you very much.
Franklin Nate is a friend of the show, a retired police officer who lives in the UK, who was sharing his thoughts with us. He left the service not too long ago, I think around 2017 or something. So he's updated with the recent. The most recent rules as far as the police service is concerned. Even if these are recent laws that are being followed, then these laws are terrible. If the police are changing the rule book from civility to shooting everybody, then they are terrible. He says a lot of civility is usually advised in this kind of situations. We are not seeing that. We'll be speaking to Dr. Hassan Ayariga, the leader of All People's Congress, pretty shortly. They held a press conference yesterday on the issue of the state of security in the country, and also the judgment debt issue, which seems to have run off small. Henry, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I hope you're well.
Fine.
Okay, before you come here, the list.
Oh, Obi so train list.
The list is very important.
Now train list is saying.
The list is very important.
Now, Martin Sebeba, now list no say na tie. Yes, Euros no country a na yidi kan kra Poland. Wa monitor ne sa. Minim say Eric so monitor sa. Poland
is number 1.
Poland is number 1.
Poland.
Yes.
Which one?
Oh, I'm guess who fetching obia countries ne ba Euros ni nyina.
Are you sure?
Yes. Poland.
What is fair? Are they looking at
everything? Yes, everything.
Or face
and vital statistics in your
Oh no, Poland cannot be fair.
Oh,
yeah.
Poland by either.
We refuse.
You refuse.
You have rejected number 1 position. So which one is number 2?
Number 2 is Spain. Spain.
Okay, Spain. Yeah.
Spanish ladies.
That makes sense.
You some more for brutal.
Yes, that makes sense.
You so be who Spanish lady who attend no. Spain. 3. Portugal. Yes.
Now you are talking. Poland says
3 Portugal. I say Portuguese masses who fair. Yes, who nim krana say was so o kudare na we kade and they will cry. And the way a first 3.
So David saw a Spanish woman, a Portuguese woman.
David says
so the one was Portuguese. Oh, okay.
And the way a first 3 statistics are Euros no. O man kasa no my no dey aba.
But the Poland team we have to go back and see.
Yeah,
so I will go to YouTube and watch Poland matches again.
Yeah. You know, require the team machine to bet me ahwe e man bi ahwe say empa. Say Poland.
You can confirm very confirm for us. Confirm.
Man on by Euros some guess who fetching bibia and Spain toss 2. And Portugal toss 3.
Okay.
They say Euros no say bibia set. They say quarter final appearance no Belgium ni Italy on the 2nd.
Belgium and Italy.
Yeah, Belgium, Italy.
2nd is Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Belgium,
Friday.
Italy.
Hey, that's
Switzerland, Spain.
Spain, Switzerland.
Yeah, no. Belgium, Italy no. The obey winning no. Switzerland, Spain no. On in the Bikushia.
In the semi-finals.
Yeah, it was semi-finals.
Okay.
And you know say it is coming home no. England and Ukraine. And Czech Republic, Denmark.
Okay, Czech, Denmark.
England and Ukraine the obey winning no. On Czech Republic ni Denmark then the obey winning also ebeshia.
England has to beat Shevchenko's Ukraine.
Now sabon na time say
the Ukraine. The Ukraine Sweden.
Emma Bufu Grand Sank extra penalty shootout cry. About 90 say England on pen has 90 where we so I didn't know pen was I say 30 minutes na 30 minutes 1 hour no we baby Copa America no so no say na ekoso se say baby no so do near quarter finals na Peru ni Paraguay
versus Paraguay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brazil versus Chile.
Hey.
Yeah. Brazil versus Chile.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And you know Peru ni Paraguay do be
Brazil, Chile, Peru, Paraguay.
Yeah. Brazil, Paraguay, no, Brazil, Chile, no, do be winning no, any Peru, Paraguay, no, ne share.
Okay.
For a semi-finals, no. And Uruguay, Colombia.
Uruguay versus Colombia.
And Argentina and Ecuador.
Argentina, Ecuador.
Yeah, and you know, has only had the winning.
Uruguay, Colombia, Argentina, Ecuador.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Ayana. Brazil.
Brazil is in.
Yeah. Dunya Ayana no besides say one Jayana. Why?
Dr. Ayariga has joined us. He's the leader of the All People's Congress and is joining us to speak to us. Thank you very much for your time and a good morning to you. Hello, Doc. Hello, Doc. I don't know whether it is me. Hello, Doc. Can you hear me? I think he can hear me and he's responding. It's just that. Doc. Yes, Doc. Okay. I think there is a connection between your phone and. Nafisa to Ibrahim is welcoming us back. Stanley Akimi is joining us. Henry Anderson says welcome, still watching from Berlin. Eram Dalafia is also joining us. Henry Anderson, the soldier who kneeled and targeted the civilians, must be court-martialed. With the DUJ, I hope the videos recorded by the journalists who happened to be there will not be tampered with. Buzo Beto welcomes us back. Emozata is watching us from the Netherlands, says a good morning to us. With the DUJ, says if the reporter under pressure does any editing, the spirit of all those killed will haunt him for life, especially the one who protected him and his crew when they first arrived there. Amenyavi Stephen is also joining us. Says, I'm sure the journalist who took this video will be looked for and questioned. Trust me. Doc, let's hope this time I can hear you. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Good morning to your listeners.
Okay, far better. I can hear you. Dr. Hassan Ayariga is the founder and leader of the All People's Congress. Yesterday, you seem to have held a press conference that spoke to virtually all the pressing issues in this country. But before I go to your press conference yesterday, the issue that we are all discussing this morning has to do with the happenings in Ejura. And I guess you have been following, and I'm also guessing you have been watching the videos that are coming out from the incidents that happened there. What are your observations of what has happened so far in the handling of the issues by the police officers and also government officials?
It's very sad to hear what happened yesterday and see the videos that were coming from Ejura. Like you rightly mentioned, that I had a press conference yesterday. The first thing I spoke about yesterday was insecurity. If you look at the press conference very well, you see that my first discussion or my first address was about security and the insecurity in Ghana. And I mentioned exactly what happened yesterday. I spoke about it. Military brutalizing, police killing our people, Ghanaians not being safe, and everybody's mute. No one is talking. To the extent that armed robbers have now taken over the country, killing even policemen and money operators, mobile money operators. And government being quiet about it. I spoke about intimidation from government, national security, and all that they are doing against the citizens who voted for them. It just manifested a few hours after my press conference. Exactly what happened. You see, we have come to the crossroad where we now realize that this current government is intimidating people who come out to speak or who wants their right to be heard. The gentleman they killed, Kaka, what did he do? What was his crime? He's a member of the NPP. He was a member of the NPP, may so rest in peace. And when he realized that the NPP was not doing right, he joined Fix the Country campaigners and conveners to demonstrate against what government is doing on his social media platform. That's all. No crime. And the MC, I'm told, and the members of the party threatened him to the extent that even a police sent him a letter warning him about his activities on social media. Since when can police stop people from freedom of speech? Since when? But police cannot stop armed robbers from robbing people. But they can easily write letters to good citizens of this country not to speak. And that is why today we find ourselves in the silent, culture of silence. And I mentioned that yesterday. Where are the academics? Where are the stakeholders? Where are the politicians? Where are the religious bodies? We remember in 2016, 2013, 2014, they were always on media platforms, TV, radio, making noise. What happened? What has changed? That today another person is in power and they have all gone mute. What is happening is as a result of mismanagement and intimidation of police and media. Why would people want to demonstrate? You've killed, one is dead, they've gone to bury him. Now police went there to do what? And when they revolt, you kill them, you shot them like, even nowadays we don't kill goats anymore. We don't shoot at goats or shoot at the animals. We sacrifice them. But you are shooting human beings as if you are going for training. You saw when one squad and was shooting as if they were the training ground. He's now used Ghanaian citizens to do your training. He's forgotten that they are your brothers and sisters, some people's children and fathers and mothers. And you want this country to be peaceful. So for me, this government has failed in terms of security woefully. And I was expecting by this time President Nana Addo would have issued a statement with regard to this. You saw what happened in the U.S. when George Floyd was killed. You saw the demonstration. You saw what it did to the economy of the U.S. and the people of the U.S. Exactly, it's going to happen to Ghana if we don't sit up quickly. You understand?
You see those kind of protests coming up
very soon. I am not the one saying, but I foresee it coming because there is what we call silent revolution. But I see now that the people are revolted quietly, silently. And it's going to be a political silent revolution. Then the government cannot control. The police will not be able to protect. The military will not be able to shoot. The national security will not be able to boast. Then the people will now feast them. But we are not calling for the people to do that. What will it cost a country to go on demonstration or conveners to go on demonstration? President candidate Nanado, participated in 54 demonstrations. 54. No one stopped him. You remember the Kumapekun demonstration? No government did anything. And now today, people want to demonstrate. You say no, COVID-19. What COVID-19 are you talking about? What happened to November, December elections? Were you not campaigning, doing big rallies? At that time was COVID-19 on holidays? Or at that time COVID-19 wasn't with us? Just recently, our comrades, Sir John's funeral. Who also was happening? I see a political rally. That one, there's anything wrong with it. But if people want to demonstrate, you bring in COVID-19. In any case, you have said that 200 people can gather in a church, mosque, or whatever and do the activities. So if the demonstrators are 200, can they come out and express their views on the happenings in the country? Will that cost the government anything? But you see, when you deny citizens the right to demonstrate, you are asking for something different. And that is what is coming. So we have to pray. We have to pray and pray. That's what I can say. But it's sad and it's disgraceful. The act by I think by this time, the Interior Minister and then the National Security Minister, including the Defense Minister, should be telling us something.
And that's the point I'm coming to, because yesterday the scene that happened is virtually a replication of what happened in Techiman South after the election. There was another incident in Ayawaso West Wagon. There was an incident in Ablekuma Central where Radio Gold is cited. And in all those instances, nobody has been held accountable for those kind of reckless shooting, among others. What should we be seeing in terms of accountability in this particular instance to assure citizens that this is not the new order, that citizens will be shooting to any time they start any form of protest?
You see, in my press conference yesterday, I made mention of that. That people are dying, people are abusing power, and no government appointee or even the president is held responsible or comes out to say anything. Nobody's talking. Now we need to hold government accountable, and by so doing, it's part of demonstrating. And if demonstration fails, what else do you think is going to happen? But if government is not worried about the people, and its concerns are it's just winning elections and then beating people and intimidating people, do you think they care about who dies? Do you think? Till date, no report about all these incidents you've mentioned. And those people who are in power and positioned to handle those matters, those ministers, are still in their post. Are still at post. Am I right? In a different jurisdiction, by this time they all were resigned or been sacked. But Africans, we think that military regime and political and the democratic is the same. The only difference is that one is voted and the other one is by the weapon. But when we come, we behave the same way. You understand? And that is what is happening. I think that citizens must demand the right. You, the media, must use your platform to ask people to resign when they failed us. People must be held responsible when they commit crimes, must take responsibility when they misbehave. And when we do that as media men and media women, I am sure people will begin to listen.
Well, let me then go back to your press conference, because you were talking about the fact that we may be getting to a point of protest that we cannot stop. And you were talking at the press conference about beyond this issue of Ejura, the state of insecurity, the robbery attacks. You talk about the 170 million judgment debts, among other issues you believe should be addressed immediately. I just want to ask you about the reason behind your decision to speak not on one issue, but on a wide range of issues at this time, and demand some accountability and demand something is done on those issues.
Because many of the politicians are quiet. Those who are supposed to hold government responsible are all quiet. The economy is not going well. We are dying slowly. A piece of tomato, one piece of tomato goes for 2 cedis. In a country where we have what do you call it, food and what production? How do they even call it? Planting for food. And you think that things are okay? We have monitored every aspect of the economy. And then we think that we need to come out and address the nation because nobody is speaking. Things are difficult. Fares are going up on daily basis. Fuel prices are going up. Transport fares are every day increasing, skyrocketing. Prices of goods are going up every day. No control. No price guarantee system. And you come and tell us that you are the government of the day. So what kind of governance system are you running? Today, if you go out with 10 cities, and you don't take time, when you are coming back, the 10 cities, you take a transport 10 cities, and you are coming back, you think you have another 10 cities. If you don't take time, the transport driver will drop you halfway before you get home, because by the time you get back, they increase the price of the fares. That's the kind of country we live in. And the government of the day says they are doing well. So you see, we all need to speak up. And if we don't do, the press conference was fully loaded, if you look at it very well, with challenges, problems, and even solutions to what to do. Because government is not serious. So what it means is that this government cannot manage our country. And I mentioned, if we don't take time, the silent revolution will turn to a political revolution. That is my fear. And we are a peaceful country. And I've been saying this. There are 2 countries, if we don't take time, within the next 6 months, there will be a revolution in one. And any time if it happens in one of these 2 countries, the other one will respond. And don't ask me which country. One is Ghana, the second one is Nigeria. These 2 countries, the youth are very upset and angry about the governance system. If there is a small misunderstanding in Ghana, Nigerians will emulate it and also start with their people. If it happens in Nigeria, the Nigerians will also start with their government. Because we've gotten to the end of the road where people cannot take it anymore. Everybody is quiet. Watching. When they explode, it's going to be a big problem. So please, media men and women. And I think that by this time, the president should come and address the nation on issues affecting the country. If you allow demonstrators to go and demonstrate, at least they will tell you what their issues are, and you address those issues. That is how we manage a country. You cannot force the people to sit down in their homes and want them to adapt the culture of silence. And that is what we are doing. That's why nobody is talking. Everybody's mute. And meanwhile, we have pressing issues, serious ones, never like before.
But Doc,
So if you're not talking now, when do you want
how do you expect someone who believes that he's doing well, who clearly disagrees with your assessment of the country, to speak about challenges he does not accept?
Yes, because it's ignorant. It's greedy, it's selfish, it doesn't even understand governance. So
Our president is greedy and selfish?
if you do, you will understand that the people are suffering. If you do, you will understand that every day prices of goods and services are going up and you don't even have control. Look, when I spoke about the fix the country, I said right now we need to even move away from fix the country to save the nation. Hashtag save the nation. Why? Because every sector of our country has been taken over by foreigners. So we don't even have the country, not to talk of fixing. Look at the sector by sector. The mining sector, foreigners. The oil sector, foreigners. The cocoa sector, foreigners. The banking sector, foreigners. Mention one sector. Even now, retail center has been taken over. B5, Iron Rod Company, last month increased their product to 80% and nobody spoke. No one, even government couldn't say anything. Cement is going up every day. Nobody's talking. So if you cannot handle all these small things as government, then what is your locus being president of the day? You sit down and retail companies decide the value of the items in the market and you don't have control. You don't have a price guarantee system to monitor and know what is happening. Yet you are the president of the Republic of Ghana. And then you believe that things are going on well. If you know that things are going on well, you step down from your office and stay away from the office for 1 week and see the difficulties people are going through. You will now understand that people are suffering. But when you have all the machineries around you and all the goodies around you, you don't know that people are sitting under the sun. So you can decide to think the way you want. When the people revolt, then you understand what their plights are.
There's something that is missing. You are a politician yourself. You're into politics, and every time, because you're talking about a revolt in the making, that the silent protest may soon become a political protest. You said that people are not happy with the system, our governance system, among others. Then where are we missing? Where is the missing link? Because the world over, they are always applauding that Ghana's democracy is thriving, is doing well. Where is the missing link?
When you send figures to IMF, you deceive the world that economic indicators are good, and you say people have money in their pockets, and you keep getting media to say that the economy is good, the economy is good. Meanwhile, those who are living in it are suffering, dying slowly. When the time comes for them to revolt, it is not those who are listening to your economic indicators that are going to revolt. It is those who are in the country and suffering. They are the ones going to revolt. And then you will now see the clear picture of what is happening in Ghana. You understand what I'm saying? If a piece of tomatoes goes for 2 cedis, is it normal? Which part of the world will you pay $50 for 1 piece of tomato? Equivalent to 50 cents or 45 cents. Am I right? For 1 piece of tomato. And you think everything indicators show that we are doing well. How much is our per capita income? How much is the salaries of Ghanaians in the country? How much do you take as salary? These are the things you look up to make those comparisons to see whether the standard of living of people is good or bad. But keep deceiving yourself. Keep deceiving yourself. That water is a problem in Ghana. Roads are bad. Hospitals we don't have. Market square, there are not even proper market square. People are struggling to get 3 square meals a day. 3 square meals. What other countries have achieved years back, we are struggling to feed 3 square meals to our family. And you think that indicators are good? You can be telling the whole world that Ghana's economy is booming. Yes, it's booming in your pocket. Of course, it's booming in your pocket. But other people's pockets are empty because you've taken everything away from them. So you have filled your pocket and their pockets are empty. Of course, how can you say that the economy is good? It's bad. Nowadays, when you see people walking on the street, observe, you see that people are walking and talking to themselves. You know why? Poverty has engulfed Ghana. Huh? Look at the fuel prices. The most expensive product in Ghana is fuel. 6 cedis, $1 something. I came back from the US. It was 29 cents per liter. 29 cents, for God's sake. We have oil. And we are paying $1.10 for a liter of fuel. So if those people abroad think that Ghana is doing well, they should come and tell us that why Ghanaians are paying $1.10 for a liter of fuel. Meanwhile, in the US, they don't have oil. They are getting 29 cents for a liter of fuel, petrol. Tell me. Huh? People in the US, their salaries are in thousands of dollars. Ghana here, our salary is hundreds of cities. 500 cities, 300 cities, 250, some even take 250. Less than $50. And you come and sit down somewhere and tell the whole world that you keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. Look at how much we have borrowed so far. What have we done? What did we use the money for? Where is the money? Where are the in developments? You have borrowed more than any other government put together from Nkrumah till date. From Nkrumah till date, you borrowed more than any other government. Where did you put the money? You just borrow to spend, borrow to waste. It's the easiest way. The most wicked way of handling a country is to borrow. Most wicked way of managing a country is to borrow. Not the most useless, the most wicked way. Because you cannot produce, you cannot manufacture, you cannot create, you are not creating, you are not innovating anything. You don't create anything. You just go and borrow and spend. Using your collect, what do you call it, your assets. And when it fails, what are you going to do? We have lost bauxite. Oil is gone. Cocoa is going. Very soon we use the sea. My brother, thank you very much.
Well, Doc, it's a pleasure always talking to you. We keep praying for the country, and thank you for speaking up. Dr. Hassan Ayariga is leader of the All People's Congress, and let me. Dr. Percy has indicated to me that he has a contribution to make. He's listening to the show, and so let me speak to Dr. Percy before I bring in Henry George Martinson. Of course, we have a problem with our voice note number. When we fix it, we'll restore it. We'll restore it so you can use it. You don't come and say, you don't tell me what to say. Let me speak the way I want to speak. So we have a problem with the voice note number, and so when we fix it, we'll use it. The phone is now doing flashing to us. It will show his face more and vanish. Show your face more and vanish. It is blinking. The phone is blinking. We have Dr. David Percy on the line. Doc, good morning, and thank you very much for. It's always wonderful to hear your voice in the morning. By the way, I hope you're well.
Good morning, Senna.
And
I've been struggling to follow your conversation. I only got bits and bits of it. You had Dr. Hassan Ayariga.
Yes, I just spoke to him.
Speaking about the General Malay and the fact that people who should be speaking about these matters have gone quiet. I'm sure that those who are not speaking find it in their interest not to speak. But before I go on, you made a general point about politics and politicians, which I find important. Am I still on the line?
Yes, I am on the line.
Okay, good. you're a journalist, right? So we can speak about good journalism. We can speak about bad or even rotten journalism and rotten journalists, can't we? So in the same vein, you can speak about good politics and good politicians. And I find it very regrettable that, because I have a lot of respect for Senna, that you would lump and tie all politics and all politicians to the same brush. And I think I've alluded to this problem on a number of occasions. Most recently when I was responding to some remarks by the MP, Dr. Apak, I believe.
Yes. Dr. Clement Apak.
Yes, and then maybe the last occasion when I was speaking about the unfortunate remarks that were attributed to former President Kufuor, and then the call by the young people in the Take Our Country movement, or whatever you call it. And this has to do with the fundamental misconception about what we are dealing with. Any matter in public space is politics. And anybody who intervenes in public space, who calls for things to be done one way or the other, is making political demands. I don't know whether I'm making myself clear.
Yes, clearly.
So, how can those same persons turn around and tell all of us in the face that they are not engaged in politics? If we allow such people to go off without being challenged, then it must mean that the rest of us are fools. And it is that fundamental misconception among large sections of the public, among persons who are clearly in political space, who are politicians. And this thing didn't start today. It started, as far as I can recall, it started from, let's even say, the days of Akela Champon, when he, as a ruler, would say to us, to our face, that he's not a politician. Everybody who intervenes in public space, whether that person is a cardinal, a pope, or a general, is engaged in politics. It is that simple. That's the first point. Second, you must be able to recognize and identify crooks and charlatans who are posing as politicians, and people who are trying the best they can. Because see, in politics you are dealing with people. You're not dealing with sacks of salt or rice. Because you're dealing with people, sometimes you have to be sometimes even clever. Because if you tell people the truth, very often they will not follow you. I don't know whether you're catching my drift. If our president Nana Addo had told the Ghanaian people that he was going to raise taxes, he was going to impose austerity, and I was going to withdraw the bribe that was given to them in the form of free water and whatever. You think they would have even gotten the number of votes they got? That they then require the injection of the military and the help of the Electoral Commission to steal the last election. You think they would have gotten that? No. So because we are dealing with people who are conscious, who are reasoning, and that often the truth is bitter and is unacceptable. Politics is always a difficult business. Yet all of us are involved in it. That's the first point that must be made. We must not allow anybody to go and waste our time telling us that he or she is not engaged in politics. Second, the general malaise that we all experience is because our politics and our governance is fake.
Fake.
Yes.
The politics and governance is
not
fake.
Working. It's fake. Yes. Our parliament, our governance structures, our parliament is not working. Our parliament does not really have oversight over the executive. Right? Which is how our constitution designed things to be. It does not. Our parliament is a mere rubber stamp. Regardless of which parties are there. A mere rubber stamp. All executive power, all powers of our country really are consolidated in one person, our president. Yet in all the conversation that goes on around, our president has become a fetish. He has been elevated and is above criticism. Now, if the military is inserted into a community and people are shot and killed, who has responsibility? Is it not the commander-in-chief? However, who is the commander-in-chief? Yeah, but I know this nonsense that is going on. Nobody mentions him. Now I even hear that this fig leaf, Occupy Ghana, has been revived, and it is engaged in diverting our attention, providing covering fire for their patron, the president, directing to take calls at parliament to what? Implement what? Pass laws. They don't even know that laws are initiated and they pass or they don't pass because the executive wants them. But they're wasting our time with all this nonsense. But back to our brief. The issue is that our politics is fake. Our parties are a waste of time. The so-called opposition, NDC, is no real opposition to the NPP. Not when the central issues concerning the working people of our country are concerned. They can all be lumped in one lump. Yeah. And that's really the issue. And I think I had a conversation with you about, I can't remember, it has to be about, in the aftermath of the shooting of Ahmed Swale. Hello?
I can hear you.
You recall that conversation? When I spoke about the fact that the Ghanaian people had elected a despot way back in 2016. They had been sold a false prospectus. They had been conned into electing a despot. And really what we are seeing with the shootings in Nigeria, with the public execution of Ahmed Swale, are merely the rotten fruit of having elected, and now since the last elections, haven't agreed to keep on a despot. It is very that simple. We must put our finger on that central issue and stop all the meanderings and the going around in circles. when we are going out hunting for the elephant, we don't waste our bullets on rabbits. And the elephant in the room is our president. We shouldn't waste our time talking and looking for other people on whom to hang the blame.
Well, Doc, always a pleasure talking to you. And thank you very much for that intervention.
My pleasure. But since I'm on the air, I should bring up this matter. There are a couple of things you're going to send me some time past. You haven't done it.
I'll do that. In fact, I have uploaded one. I only need to send you the link. So I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be most grateful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to Doc.
And you can include this one as well.
Okay. Fine. Dr. David Percy is a friend of Radio Gold, and also, as very importantly, a student of history and politics. We always insist on that, and the explanation he's giving to me alone is justifiable. He says that before history is everything. Everything has to do with history. And he's making this intervention once again because of the constant refrain. We are not doing politics. I'm not a politician and everything. Everybody who comes into the public space to do politics will tell you, I'm not a politician, including us. Nia says, why is this government refusing to pay the retired police officers their pensions? This is how we end up with judgment deaths. Graham Johnson is saying a good morning to us. Abna Owusu is also saying, can't we zoom the video and see the face of the police officers who did the shooting? Enough is enough. Nanado is worse than any president in Ghana's history. Shame to all those defending his crimes. Abna Owusu again joins us and says, Hassan, you are all part of this. So during the elections, 9 people were killed, and yes, to you, the small party said the election was free and fair. Chloe Charles says, what is wrong with us as a country? In a country where elections verdicts have been stolen, never expect any positive happening. This is what we have to expect. We are in a serious security problem. No proper training for the soldiers who acted in this manner. Watching from New York City. Chloe Charles again says the security is to protect people and property, but in Ghana is the other way around. This is unacceptable in a serious country called Ghana. This is what you are going to see with this tax employed in the security system. It's sad. Samuel Alfred is also joining us. Abna also is saying the president doesn't care. Nanado is a tyrant and a dictator. Says I agree. Hashtag fix the nation. Enough is enough. Abuzi Beto, Nanado and the time BP party are destroying Mother Ghana. Maria Adam Akufo-Addo does not respect we Northerners, especially Muslims. Okay. But inshallah, posterity is going to judge them. As for Baumia, the least said about him, the better. And also, Kojo Abochi Bokro says Dr. Ayariga is a brave politician now in Ghana. God bless you. And Udeduje says our phone is practicing our post power. Who is even worse than our post power. The thing they come on self. You only see the thing is Motorola. You see Motorola and then it goes. Then when you press it again, you see Motorola and then it goes and comes. So that's how come we haven't played your voice note for the past few days. So we apologize. That's the problem we are encountering with our phone since yesterday. Thank you. Well, Harry has joined us. Harry, the rest of the period.
Oh yeah, just something.
And well, so I'll leave it all to you.
Yeah, so insecurity in the system and the pretense from government that everything is okay here. You see, I told you leadership is about everything. And in life, there comes a time where you need to be brutally and frontally frank with the powers that be. Because I don't understand why in a democracy we seem to have preference for the military against the police. But that was a despicable video. But immediately unless they want to tell us that the video was doctored. And it's highly impossible for that to be done. Because you saw the motion of the truck. Immediately the truck stops and they alighted. Then they started firing. So they have a premeditated mind. Their preoccupation was to kill. Because you can't tell me this. Is that the professionalism? When security dons are saying that the military has been infiltrated with party thugs and vagabonds and decomposed, people want to deny that. Because knowing who the military is, because I know when my granddad was in the service, I've been going to Burma camp, knowing how the level of professionalism that could be associated with the military. Is that what you see these days? A well-trained military person just alighted from a car, they started firing. Why? This kind of siege mentality. And we say that, listen, first and foremost, we saw the water cannons. And the people were approaching the vehicle. So it started going back, then the car went. So who made that call? The MC is at 6 and 7s. When you listen to him, I now appreciate why the people are calling for his head. Because they started calling for his head way back. And you ask yourself, why is this thing going on? That at any point in time, you have blood on the scars of our conscience. And our conscience this time mean the state. And who is spearheading the state? The president. And when you talk, the president or the king is naked. And I'm not telling that the king is naked. And they're lying to the king. My understanding is that each and every morning, the president is giving security briefing. When Notre Dame happened, didn't the president tweet? George Floyd, when the incident happened, didn't the president tweet? Those senseless killings going on in this country, have you heard the president? The last time we heard the president about the election, there were a few deaths. 8 people of your citizens have died, and he said there were a few deaths. And when we speak, people think what? You saw the commotion at the Ejura Government Hospital yesterday. And when you talk, people will say what? Who is in charge of the security at the municipality? Is it not this man? He's cooling off with a nice polo cap. It doesn't matter. He's been spectacle like I'm done. So now, you see, unless the hit gets to your doorstep, you don't appreciate it. In any event, you have the minister for national security. What has he been saying? Ambrose Daniel, what has he been saying? And the almighty heaven on earth, the IGP. So nothing is breaking the conscience of this administration that unless people were giving the marching orders, this senseless killing would not stop. Am I getting the president that this whole thing is happening with the tacit approval of the president? Because when did the guy die? Kaka, when did he die? Have you had any official response from the presidency? All the time, I'll point my gun at the presidency. Because nobody voted for any minister for national security or minister for interior or the defense minister. They were, what would they do next? A delegated authority. But if they are fooling or if they are sleeping on their job, someone died, someone was killed, murdered in cold blood. There wasn't any whimper. A day or 2 or 3, 2 people dead, and we are okay in this country. Let someone die in the States or the Kingdom or Switzerland or Canada, you see the official hand of the president. Sorry, I'm with you. Was he voted to be commenting on things outside the jurisdiction of this country? Or he should focus his lens on this country?
Martins, if the president sees the killing of, I think, 4 or 5 people in Techiman as a light issue, what do you think he'll say about one?
I say sometimes it's very sickening. I'm not getting worked up, but sometimes you don't need to meet the heat before you feel how it feels. A person can be killed in his house. And look, I don't know the authenticity of that purported police report going on. Is it true? Since they have the police spoken to it?
Which one?
Oh, the police. You know, there's something a letter to the effect that they said that some people
they've not denied it.
They've not denied it.
They've not denied it.
So is that a response from a police command?
In fact, it was.
If someone is talking on social media, does that warrant a threat?
I think it did not come specifically from the police command. It comes on the. In fact, I never knew that CID officers had their own letterhead. It came on the letterhead of an officer.
This is the country in which you find ourselves now. Kofi comes on my mind. And the president ought to be told in the eye, eyeball to eyeball, that the country has degenerated. Not that it is degenerating. It has degenerated. Because if you don't have security, and then you are calling for FDIs, foreign direct investment. You are calling for investors to pump their funds here. If your kids and kin, so to speak, can be killed this way, how much are a foreigner?
Dr. Percy says I should read this to you. That a correction from him.
Okay.
That it is not that the president's advisors are lying to him. He says our president, on the contrary, superintends and orchestrates the lying and the deceit.
The militant on our side. You call that phrase? Yeah. There's President Mahama. For President Mahama should be speaking this way. Because at the point in time when he was the president, you were the main opposition leader, and that's what you said. That if the state cannot protect your people, we cannot handle the aftermath. Is that a way an opposition leader should speak in this way? If President Mahama speaks this way, what will happen? And the National Peace Council, when you look at the object of the National Peace Council, the National Peace Council Act, they are supposed to prevent this kind of firefighting approach to issues in this country. Ought to be nipped in the bud. They have never spoken to this issue. Listen, so now we're not in an election era for these senseless killings to be going on, and no one has spoken to it. Now, my understanding is that Kam has returned to Ejira. Thank God for that. But those perpetrators of this heinous act ought to be brought to book. I don't understand why in this part of the world we don't value human life at all. People are just killed like chickens. People are just killed like flies. And we go to bed thinking everything is cool. Martin Nibola, again. Now it is not your turn, so you don't feel the gravity of what is going on. But when the hurricane or when the volcano get your doorsteps, then you appreciate what those families are going through. You saw the sorrow on that young lady. She was wailing, weeping helplessly that this guy is gone. Is the guy not being a citizen? If what this guy, I don't know him until his demise, I went back to watching his videos. This is what we call real citizen. But the guy ought not to sit down for help to come from Accra before Ejira will be habitable. This is what we expect everyone to do. And when you talk, you have people being paid at the presidency, social media account holders at the presidency, and they'll be insulting. And we see this as okay, but when the other side insults, then there's a problem. No one has spoken to this, the so-called national opinion leaders, moral society. They've not spoken to this. Because after what? Kaka is what? From a vulnerable place. They don't have the political might. That's why it's being treated this way. Yes, this is a class society. In fact, under this administration, we've created what we call a class society.
It's always been a class society.
No, but it has been deafening.
Martin says it's always a class society.
It has been deafening.
It's always a class society.
And I'm saying it has been deafening. That's the point. How long shall we be mourning our kids and kin? I don't need to be a blood relation with you before I could appreciate the anger, the anguish, the agony, the trauma, the trepidation. Now, what are we talking about? As if Ghana just erupted from a war zone. So we should allow what is going on. How can someone died? Me Pierre boy, MP Ebo, journalist Amebo, journalist Ajiame. Me Pierre Amebo my name. Kashi Bene, Kashi Shini entire studio name, under community beame. Mini Abosani beame. Along with beame, Koyoni, Anale. What one mane fe basaka ye akaka ye. Ke ayu akaka ye. Itanshi ne ninami alo eni na wokunyoko dani ma wie ejake ke o kaseni e ko kaseni ni mi doko ne e ba e mankodo o pere ne ba femini e ba oro no ani o ba so ye mi na fi e ma na mi agbe oshikifo agbe na e wo mi ne ko e ba ni ngbe ka tishi buko ke yes sena ke okwe ifonini kaka ifoni kaka ke chowo ko ko eyi tafa che eni gbo ke chowo angba bule che wa eni gbo ba ni ami e wa si eni me fe kele eko efo eno ake eje amalo fonyo amalo fonyo ni yo ejura eje egbena ke ni chuma ke ni ke ma jani bi ekwe he na wa chi bola ke ni bi aswe gota na eyi eni me fe se wo kwe ejake ma na emi ni ji Ghana jaku alo Ghana ni wo yo mi lebi mene gbina alo lebi ni wo pese ga ko wo kwe no pote Rwanda no ni po am pote bi pode jereje bi ele akwe instead ya nu ake ete Rwanda e aka say am sanitation system. And the comfortable Rwanda amebabie na makase wo no mukoni e bakase bo odokoni e for me no okuo se no ye ko ake bo akase dika akase oni ka akase ni akase ni ke aye akase oni ke ba se o fe mo segbe keke ko agbere ko ni guom na fefe keke ake military eba so da fu ya ka eba na ma fe mini bode ti ko okwa efonu e alo okwa sidi ni okwa ni atatu oyisi etom no chonemi no bo tutua me mane ka yu ebe suwona ka ba yu akemi ni ma fite ni wota mami akaka yu shi ma fite mene kaka menyo ne egbok fita obo fact ka obo that phone you to ye Ejura hospital e ka to bullet e ko chom ko se no dey bullet e chom ke ni to akebe mo jofue mo jofue no to bullet ke to ese me so da fue ne mini mo di allow me for di no na me chobi for ya me to mu no anu je ko te ke o ba yisi no ni me do fue o ba ta metu tu bullet ko be chomo ko se no na me sini wota de ke aka ba kwa mi no ko jam no aka kwa mi kra ka kwa mi no ko because ni mi pie ba ma ni ni abalo fojo nupa ni di ono to le president eke efe no me kuko na kwami bona fe ni ata me ni gbe me ka se ngone December na fe afon shikire 40 bega yo bibi e 40 years ni di no ma ka edo ya kwe ena ka ku me ameka ame yare o ese ka me ke kasi mene amenako muni gba me bi yo e me ma ne ke ko ba na Notre Dame no Notre Dame mini afia Notre Dame French do gimi mi kwa ima hie yelo ne kwa ni bi papa ba ke no ko ba ma de me wo to the social media ne ba nwa no ko eje me Ghana bi she get by outside le first ne pa me mane aloni bi ada efe to eni egbe bi na le na ewo wo fe wo gbo ko gbe ba omi a ke ba no na mo ba akwa enu ko gbe ba omi ke ba no ba akwa enu ewo Ghana bi nya wotashi ni me ni awon ngbe na wo jina ka me ye wo ngbe na eteke me fe na gba ke agbomo ni wo fe wotashi no fe wo na aka mu gbe eji to ball na atwa no awo go pi be be na ba atwa euro atwa ni ba awo go na gbe me ni ji go se
Martinson
I want to meji any polemic dey like a pole wo
Martinson, thank you. Said Ushabu says, Sana, hope you guys are doing well. Sana, these people are not military. They are kind of commandos that the government have created and spread them all over the country to do the dirty jobs. So what's happening is a dangerous situation. It must be addressed very well before it gets to the point of no return. Those so-called noble people who don't want to talk about the issues should wait until the men in uniform will knock on their doors and they will realize that they are the next victims. Stay safe, my brother. Wudeduje says these are the vigilantes trained by the South Africans. Georgia Siedu Mensa won't allow this to happen in Ghana. I see. Wudeduje was mentioning my name. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Kujo Fiti says Sana Poland is that Poland is I don't know. I haven't, so I have to check. Kujo, I have to check to see if what you're saying is true. When Sado says, Sana, police ladies are very nice. Hey, you know, I see. Nyaya is saying, why is this government refusing to pay the retired police officers their pensions? Okay, I think I read that. And Graham Johnson is, as usual, supporting Denmark. She lives there. I've now says, and I can't we zoom the video and see the face of the police officers who did the shooting. Enough is enough. I think I've read that. Let me say good morning to Eke Kwashi whilst we are talking about Denmark. A very good morning to you. A good morning to all our friends who are in Norway listening to us. Denmark, Norway. A good morning to Alexander Kwekudaku in Japan. Bozebetel says Nanado and okay, I think I've read that one too. Ohini Jengfi says Akufo-Addo is destroying the country, stealing and killing the citizens. Lumensa Sana, morality is thrown to the dogs. All police officers have become so deceptive. How can we have disappointing situations such as in Ejura? Comensa Pella says Nanado is a gift. Let's support him for a better Ghana. Amejega Raymond says we don't have Ghana now under the MPP government. Akufo-Addo is okay. God help us. We are not okay. Oh, so you are not coming to Ghana, Raymond. We don't have an IGP and a president in Ghana now. Okay. Lydia Kam is joining us. Buzi Beto says, is it Mattis and Kemuame or something? I hope I said that right. Lydia Kam, can you imagine all this? Judy Mensah says, sad for the sad happenings in Ghana. With the DJ Sana, can you please translate for us? Thank you very much for that privilege that you have just given me. All Mattis was saying is that it's time for us to close. So that is what Mattis was saying. Buzi Beto says they are not professional soldiers. With the DJ says, okay. Now you have gone too far. I can't read that one. Magdo says the armed men in the military uniform are not really soldiers. These are the hoodlums used to use in Techiman and Ayawaso Wagon. Thank you, Magdo. Let me say a good morning to Abdul Rahman. A very, very good morning. I saw him a bit earlier on. I hope he is well. Ransford, Kwesi Boache, please come before we close. Lydia Kam says we don't need him for anything because his own brothers are being killed and he's quiet over that. Can he govern Ghana with what we are witnessing in Ghana now under his master? Nina, I wonder why we get surprised when such things happen. Don't we know who the president is? Please sit down. There's a petition before me. And the petition is simple and straightforward.
It's coming from who?
That I don't have to disclose the identity of the petition that was used to remove Charlotte Osei-Kra. They didn't tell you who brought it, so they didn't mention their names. Charlotte Osei-Kra does not know who wrote the petition against her. You are coming to ask name for here. This one there's no name.
But are you aware today is exactly 6 years Charlotte Osei was appointed as electoral commissioner?
6 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 6 years when she was appointed.
Yeah, as electoral commissioner. So, Cortes not any fee ban.
No, you don't know. You don't know the Cortes. I haven't even stated the contents of the petition. I'm going to respond. What kind of this thing? They just brought you to court. They find you guilty.
No, because I've been getting calls. I've been getting a lot of calls.
Okay, so the petition is saying that you missed comments a bit earlier.
Yeah,
that were misleading to the public. Especially the claim that we have been consulting on security issues.
What issues here?
You have been consulting on security issues.
What issues here?
Unless you are unable to provide further details, please, you have to withdraw and apologize. Because they are misleading the public. So name the companies you have consulted for. Or
no, it's confidential.
Confidential.
Yeah, it's confidential. Huh? So I cannot disclose the companies that I work for them.
Even Nancy, who worked for diplomats, was disclosed it.
But she later turned out to be a receptionist. A security.
Does that take away the fact that she was providing security?
So what Mark Sandy and others are doing, is it are they providing?
They are providing security. What are they?
How do you call them? How do you call them?
I'm saying, Mark Sandy. Are they providing security for us or they are open gate for us to enter?
JM may he so rest in peace. What is
Goka.
Goka by when who Baba action?
Baba no pequens.
She opekwen. Oh.
See your life.
No pequens. But Zana, on a more serious note, Unim say I've been a security person.
Oh no.
I have trained students.
This thing that you're coming to say is misleading.
Is that misleading?
It's misleading.
Oh no, Zena.
Zena. You train cadets.
Yeah, I've trained.
Yeah, and you know there are different forms of cadets. In fact, when you're in the military training school, they call you cadets.
Yeah, your military.
They call you a cadet. The cadet he's talking about is the one who march.
No.
Whenever they see
okay.
And then they go and wear some uniform, and then they are carrying some what do they call it? Wooden guards. Yes, they don't do anything. All they do is march every day.
But wouldn't say I my guys or my students. Yeah, but Michelle Camp for certain.
No,
see, Oh, call the bit back. You go there fraternal.
If it is going to let him say what he did at mission.
Consult.
Henry Paul Kasayo. Henry Paul about what? Experience with military.
Oh, no. Or call military for call event say get together. Now we call
National Service Act.
By now, I would have been a military personnel if I want that. Go ask Elanimo.
Yes.
We're giving the opportunity.
Who should we go and ask?
Go ask Elanimo, the former director of communication.
Who should we go and ask?
The one thing I like about it is that you never declare last. You know, go agree.
This thing that they are doing, it is being fueled by two people. This thing that they are doing to me, it is being fueled by two people. Nee Brown is one of them. Nancy Oborani, she has been sent by those guys. And Enoch is calling me. I'm not picking the calls. Enoch too is calling me. I'm not picking up the calls. What does it? What does it? Who go I defense whatever. What? Any persuari. The day for persuari. Me. Any my there's some naka. Me during the Masa, my grandfather certificate. My grandfather was at I know grandfather some. I've been going there so I know the military. I'm military. What are you talking about? Okay, just how Papa doctor now also for the anybody no we be sleeping there. So if you sleep at dinner I've been through. If you sleep at Kolebu, I've been through.
Telling you, sir. Telling you, sir.
Strike action by the fishermen. I have with me the international fisherman. Let's hear what he.
The bottom brought in the inflation, bring on all this confusion. But the government is now our word. Yesterday, long our boats are my sword. 3 die and go to the God. Don't mean now, why I would on the award.
This matter was supposed to have ended simply with withdrawing his comments and apologizing, but he has refused to apologize, claiming consultancy. By good morning to Enoch Jetiate Nee Brown. A happy birthday to F. Today is the birthday of F4 Alanyo Chekbo. So a happy birthday to him. A happy birthday to from the team to F4 Alanyo. Jack Dingo says, my son is one of the Alkibu boys, and only what he knows is how to eat fufu 4 times a day. I know energy. With the DJs, have you forgotten he is a cadet commander, an assistant to the assistant school prefect assistant? He never misleads. He only confuses his dreams with reality. Oh, watch it.
Zanaro. Yeah. Me security expertise they want to me and question na ma matisenti as say. Oda be ma campaign just we sojani. Okay. Maneti ase. Ona na sojani anu just we sojani. I've been through drill. Leba maneti ase. Press wari die minim say. Enye press wari. Leba. Let me talk. Keep quiet. Press wari producer in the buy. No. Producer and me jiri di. Eno otan wo. Otan wo. So ko na. Oko so die no ko ye.
Copy and department.
The late Ivaloko only said Nami Garden.
The late Ivaloko.
Want to me back.
The late Ivaloko. So I make a choice say Shana Numbo. What does security are doing here? Mark Sandy. Babatia. Who again? Stephen. Yeah. Are they providing security or they are open gate for us to enter?
Both. What are you saying?
No.
But why I did that? Why I did that?
Baba once upon a time told me that. Momo wana mo share go phone ma maybe you want to get. Maybe you want to get you. It's one of me do this no.
Why mesh what to our website what to find.
Who's that?
Why mesh want to over find.
Any cocoa business I know.
So no. This thing has been there since.
Tom and yeah,
See.
And go and tell him.
I should go. Now,
I saw basically one
now, I want to be facing me. I'm convinced.
Now, we go face it. I want to maybe a farm and what they say. Say, and you're safe. And what? From that day, so no, we are not safe in this house.
Now, starting tomorrow, what you have, what do you call it? You won't have me sitting here. That one is Wachi. You have people shouting from that place. Because Wachi will be hosting the Pampaso from tomorrow.
I will have a chance here.
Yeah, from tomorrow. From tomorrow is 1st July. Already, I'm hearing people saying that they watched Kevin Taylor's show yesterday, and he was saying that from 1st July, our lines, please. Those of you sending that to me, I have no idea. I've told you that I do not know. I don't know. I cannot speak to that. But one thing I know is that starting tomorrow, Wachi will start hosting Pampaso. Your producer should have been here. I can't ask you these questions, but what should people expect?
Say producers, the Dawson. Nancy is here, so wait me Abekasa. So is no more. I'm on for know how I work, and I don't think say.
Your voice about phone.
I don't think say. Changes be brave about there, but we've known Pampaso for the past how many years now? From Muntie FM, let's say from Muntie to Really Good. How our Pampaso, Abeji Ding and Mugabe started the show. He left after 2016 elections, and Samuel Wanto took over. I have hosted the show before. Maybe when they are away. And now they asked me to sit in. So that is.
So you know how the show works.
Yeah, I know how they do their things. So it is not new to me as a presenter. Maya Jumaha for the past 8 years. So we know the format of the show and how one more drafting Yama. But Mugabe Koyano, a lot of changes. Because as no presenter biane how I am even the songs that he used to play na in the honum, but later time and he took the songs away and whatever. What have you? Then make no presenter be on a style of presentation and how I am.
How would you do it?
Yeah, so Samuel told to asked why in the part he has done his part, he's gone. So send no more. As for the fire, you should expect it.
Yeah, no answer the question. Yeah. Initially, it was like as if they ask somebody a question. Sometimes you ask somebody a question after a press conference. They say, "Let me go and bring the speech." And they come and be reading the speech to you.
Then as for the fire, there, the fire is in me, and being the fire is in me. So we're going to make sure that the fire will be massive. And we have sat down, we have had a discussion as a team, and Yasusan and Nisukakra. Simon used to have something called critical thinking and common sense analysis. Yeah. Okay, that segment is there, but with a different name. But I won't say it today.
Okay.
Yeah, that segment is there, but with a different name. And we're going to have Kenewu. Say Kenewu used to be Really Good, right? Yeah. No. A 4-hour program starting from 1:30 to 5:30 before Konkonsan will take it over. So let's say before 5:30, we should be checking out from here until we're going to have Kenewu back on Pampaso, whereby you will provide the lines for Microphone to call in to. I don't know how to put it. So I'm not poor or whatever. The day will be for the day, no. And I know they are restricted. The other segment now we can remember and then a presenter's bite. Then can we continue with the course? Okay. Until if you have to follow the president and I can say also so be there. You cannot
also add your voice. Now, then we'll have our normal panel discussion. So if you talk to most of that, and then some new ones, depending on time, will be a binya.
Okay.
So voice notes, so as usual, we can't take it away from the show. So the voice notes will be part of the show, whereby I don't know, voice notes no, a bit busy on the topics are you discuss it. Voice note no. Sometimes you'll be hosting the show. Now Obia could teach you will be outside. Sometimes it's so confusing. Already there, 2 minutes, but ma or content na as nema or bekano, and you discuss here on the show, and no boa Emma ye a lot of ideas from our listeners because I don't know, and yet if we are singing saying you she trim, Ajuma ye won't grow for abontia if given the opportunity. Or maybe more than what we are doing here, but a privilege for us to be sitting behind the console. No more air casa. And the voice note, should focus on the topics we discuss for the day, so that every program a demo. So this is how we're going to do it. And to me, and yet without the support of our listeners and our viewers for the past 2 years, they have been supportive to this program. Or more. Make us say they are the managers of the show. I mean, because everything that we do here, and your monkey in here, to be frank with you, and your monkey in here. But we believe in what we are doing. So if you are office about one co, office about Abananko, Memetia, Eric Munina, it is because sometimes a Jumana Hayan, you see a boss, you perceive a can of crack, near your mind is your. Ukwa juma babia bisa on say babia woko no ubenya sa free ayina operatiana. You get it? So we've been here for the past 2 years. Akoma den ache there, but inim say da ache bi no nyame ema ne saswa enema ya hwere nyina no will come back. A part of the learning process, a life learning process. Our body obo yes so no yen di ni nti enamu. But at appropriate time, near my best. But at the idea back also at the better phone and say, who's there for the past, if I say, for the past month. Oma no ma support it, if I say, a morning show, no. Now, you need Pampaso group, you need morning show group, or whatever group. But what we want to do is that supporter Omedema Mogabi on Pampaso. We need that support. Supporter Omedema Same Honto on Pampaso. We need that support. In Tiaba, you will appeal to them once again. Because Pampaso, after Yatana said, you say it comes with is it a budget because of Crawford Bashu, no, and even outside programs not the other. Do you get it? Into supporting it now, no. Say na advance nipa 10 and I support the morning show. You major Pampaso with the morning show as a company, no, a programmer. You been here nipa by 30. Do you get it? I say nipa need me double up. Say the be ya ebe majumane so is smooth. Ya offer a service you be boa. Nti mresanti ni amaboa nyina bisi sabri no. This is about time you hear Oma. As I say, almost to me a day. It is not about Kwesibuache. It is about the brand, it's about the show. Because we've been a chassis, it will be better to us. Nipani Niwo. And if I'm taking over, definitely one day, when so mini ho. But show no dear, a momo listeners ne dear. Show no ye station ne dear. A station na me who man there, Yawabe Yabusun Abako. It is all, this is all what I can say. But and you might be a keka one day. I think say Yamia no watch na shas here. Omobeti more. The channel introduction. The
of Wachi as the new host of Pampaso. Not as Pampaso. So Pampaso has always been there.
Yeah, Pampaso is staging the program.
Yeah.
And the watch no. ne aka ne nyina ne de beba guys ne nso beba ye ne mpanifo bi nso di nkomo bi ne mo so agye atom say opportunity ne ba na ahone ohonko ade a omo so beba na omo de omonim de eno bibia beta akire na ye kama ye adwuma na ya je Ghana sio eno obi ankontokwa say ekoba so say mitia ona so so a na o de ache because I told them we are no and that doesn't mean say obi no obi ko ade bia meta kan say masa me kan wa semwa me no competition onyem age mate onyem classmate onyem abusuani no aka so yi ya cheme me view ya tasem but ya tiny pa ntino ya shase ya bibia no yesi de otwasa no onim se na chiachia so if ya shase na obi was suggestion be no office ade na e ko say no mo the first thing abeboa your suggestions and opinions are welcome on the table na ya way na ya ko yenim it's not about me because you watch it because me twem akọ say the and there will be end time TV star no so one day we time be so
yeah the end time TV star
say na say the ECC there we na ba
is it
say we ya ba say we na ba the ECC organ and the MSU yes
so we are the last batch of TV stars before the
world will not end.
So and also no common sense family they believe that the world will not end.
Yeah.
But me who so more issue lazy be a national interest or more can be. They don't have an office. Nan say omni na mo a bi omni.
Say I have for no only as a be because
oh I have for no
first of all
okay Ochina say no me what be some question
no Nancy does not have that power.
But I've asked
Nancy has not have that power. Nancy is assuming power that she does not have.
I am standing by you.
We are done. We have closed.
Oh,
whether you have aya or whatever, you won't say it. There's no aya matter. My name is Sena Nombo Ransod Kwesi Buachi is my co-host. My other co-host today was Afiriwa, Stephen Mreku. A big thank you to Agbozoba Clinic for the support. Ransford will take over tomorrow. Very, very important. We'll take over from tomorrow as the host of Pampa. So, more fire. More fire. That one there. There'll be fire throughout the show. So, you make a date with him. And, of course, you know how Pampa so operates. There's a few changes and tweaks, he says, and we are good to go. Henry George Martinson, a big thank you. A big thank you, Nancy Amalowska Kelobimpe. And also, Eric Watson is the producer of the show. Social media is in the hands of Godwin. Today, we broadcasted on both YouTube and Facebook, courtesy of Sylvester Agbamava. A very good morning to him, and thank you very, very much. And thank you to our friends at Wayzone who helped us with the technical challenges we had. We are back same time tomorrow with another edition of the show. Stick and stay with us. Good morning once again to Jet Morgan and Nee Brown, and also to who do the DJ Nimano do so. Do take care and happy birthday to Efo Olanyo Chekbo, and also to Ivan Barnes at Pan African Television.
I live very close to the Corleana. Hold the doors left from corner. We do Puma the quick, Mumona. We catch fish for the whole nation. She got no fuel, no quotation. The bottom brought in the inflation. Bring on all this confusion. But the government is now our word. Yesterday, long our boats on my sword. 3 die and go to the God. Don't mean now, why I would on the award. In MFN, no stability. World out, storage facility. Yes, incompatibility. I came in about the 1 way on the bucket. Then they call me Fishama, 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 international Fishama, Fishama, Fishama. Then they call me Fishama, 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 international Fishama, Fishama, Fishama. Together, we no go fishing, we no go fishing, we no go fishing. Together, we no go fishing, we no go fishing, we no go fishing. Fisherman to a pompo, demonstration we go, but maybe I feel loco. The one who Kulubu, in a la Fishama Trakumko, demonstration we go, Babiti Afiloko, Babanu and Kulubu, the men we no go fishing, we no go fishing, we no go fishing, the men we no go fishing, we no go fishing, we no go fishing. Give holiday to farmer, I'm alive, even big class and tractor, I'm alive, recognition and structure, I'm alive, scholarship too, I'm alive, why you know do so for the fisherman, not even telephone, Tasapa, Chale Yanko, Akamila, Skotoka, Enek, Puebo, Takocha, the fisherman, Trapunko, demonstration we go, Gomenti Afiloko, Gavanu Bankulabo, the fisherman, Trapunko, demonstration we go, Gomenti Afiloko, Gavanu Bankulabo, every kid, no surrender, Ona Anu, no Valanda, but 1 and 2, money over down that if they want to go 1 punch you didn't down. Then they call me Fisherman, 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 international Fisherman, Fisherman, Fisherman. Then they call me Fisherman, 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 international Fisherman, Fisherman, Fisherman. We no go fishing, we no go fishing, we no go fishing.